now I've got my flattened TIFF, and I need to resize this file so that it's going to fit into my new document. So you're going to, I use the key command to do image size, which is Command Option I, but if you haven't learned that key command, you're going to go to Image, Image Size. I forget where things are in this toolbar because I use key commands all the time, but image size is going to be under Image, Image, Image Size. And that's going to bring up this dialog box. When we exported our PSD from Lightroom, we should have said that the resolution was 300, correct? We should have said the color space was Adobe RGB, correct? So when we come in here, it should say that the resolution is 300. You can see that the size of my image, I had a 11.5 by 17.25. That's how big it was coming out of the camera. I need to resize this. So what dimensions do I need to resize this to on the long side?
12.
All right, like it. So instead of 17.28, I'm going to resize this to 12. As long as the width and the height are connected with this little lock, it's going to automatically change the height of our image. If I've changed the width to be 12 inches, it's going to change our height, and now we've got 8 inches for the height. So this is good, okay. So now we have a smaller file size, and I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for my other image. So we've got my waterfall, and we have all of these layers intact. This is still a PSD. And so what do I need to do from here?
Save it.
Okay, so we've got our PSD, so File, Save, and you can see that it's saving right there, saving 99%, and we're so close. There we are, now we're done. So now we want to, we're gonna flatten it, save it as a TIFF. So Layer, Flatten Image. Now we're all just down to a background. Now File, Save As. Don't hit Save, Save As, because if I hit Save, it's going to save that as the PSD, and your PSD will be flat. You have to do save as TIFF. So once you flatten it, y'all, I cannot stress enough how important save as. The PSD is saved, but if I flatten it and then just say save again, you saved the PSD, you flattened your PSD. You can't recover it.
And that means you can't see all the layers that we did.
Can't see all the layers, and I'm going to take points off.
So save out is like the final step for all.
Well, for this, you're going to see where save as, and also if you're to make it a JPEG, it's got to be save as. In this instance, they've added save as copy. So let me just cancel here. So there's other options up here. We've got save, which is just going to be final, done, it's saved. Whatever you just did, you saved it. There's save as, and then that allows you to choose. Do you want it a TIFF, you want a PSD, you want a JPEG, and then save a copy is another option. This is something that they've added within the last 2 iterations of Photoshop. Save a copy is going to add the word copy at the end. So this is okay if you do it this way. I just rather not have the word copy at the end. But you could also choose here and choose a TIFF. I don't like the word copy at the end, so I'm just going to go save as. But if you're unsure, fine, save it as a copy. Just don't hit save.
Right, so you're going to save as.
Save as, and then go down to Format and hit TIFF.
Okay.
All right, so waterfall and then save as a TIFF. I already have one saved. I'm just going to replace it.
You have 2 different images open right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I'm going to resize this because I need to fit it on my 12 by 18 paper. So image size, and then the width is going to be 12, and my resolution's at 300, and I'm going to say OK. So
So
now.
when you put the 12, the 8 automatically pop up.
Yep,
Save as
yes, it does. It automatically, because the width and the height are locked together, it will change that as well. Let me show you what will happen if you don't have those locked. If for some reason this becomes unlocked and I hit 12 here, look at my beautiful image, and now I've turned it into a weird square.
So are we supposed to lock it?
Yeah, I'm just
It's-
gonna ask you what the lock sign.
The default is going to be locked.
Okay.
As a default, it's going to be locked. But if for some reason this isn't locked,
Okay, that shows lock.
so this is locked when it connects them, when you see
Right,
these lines
So
connecting
whatever
them,
happened to the top and happened at the bottom.
will happen to
it's
the bottom.
automatically this.
So when I change the width, you see the height automatically change. If they're unlocked, then it's just going to squish the image, which is obviously bad. So say, okay, now we've resized our image. Now I need to go and make a new document to paste these two images into.
Okay,
So we're going to File, New. And this is going to give us new document. And I've already set this up, but if you don't have it set up, then
remember that, that's once the images are on one sheet.
this is to be able to put both of the images onto one sheet of paper.
And once we've done that, oh, okay, wait a minute. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So you're going to want to make, mine is, it has previously saved file document sizes here, but you will likely need to set one up from scratch. So the width of this is going to be 12 inches. The height of this is going to be 18 inches. The resolution is going to be 300. The color mode is going to be RGB color. We're going to have 16-bit. And for the background, it can either be transparent or white. Doesn't matter. That's not going to, yeah, so we've got transparent as a
Okay,
default.
12, 18.
12, 18.
12, 18, because that one sheet, because they're both on that one sheet.
Right,
okay?
because we need to fit it on our 13 by
And then
19
we got
paper.
300.
300 for the resolution, RGB color, 16-bit. We've got it set at transparent. For the color profile, Adobe RGB. We've set the color mode as RGB, but now we're going to set our color profile as Adobe RGB. So color mode would mean RGB just means it's going to print in color. If it was grayscale, that would mean if we had a black and white image and it was totally grayscale, then it would be,
Yeah, but we're gonna have our landscape is black and white.
it is black and white. But we,
It's gonna print it black and white.
yeah, but we've got that other image that we're laying on it that is RGB color. So 16-bit, transparent, Adobe RGB, and yes, square pixels. So create, and now we've got a big blank canvas to be able to lay our images into. So I'm going to go to this image, which I've already resized, and I'm going to Command A, which is select all, Command C, which is copy. Now I'm going to click into the Untitled 1 document and Command V. Oh, no. Oh, no. I did this on purpose. I did this on purpose.
Are you sure you want to convert colors
Can you go
to
back
a
to
destination
the
document
Answer's
with a
yes.
color profile that does not match the current RGB, because you didn't do RGB color?
So whenever I exported from Lightroom,
You wasn't in Adobe RGB?
I wasn't in Adobe RGB. So if you get this dialog box, that's why that's happened. If you did not change your export dialog box to Adobe RGB, you're going to see this. So if that's the issue, you can go back and we can change our color profile from here. Where is it?
What if I change the export box to bigger?
I did this on purpose so that, because there's going to be times where you guys forget. And especially if anybody ever does like the quick mode where they're just like edit in Photoshop and they don't do export dialog box, it's going to default to ProPhoto RGB. And so that's why it's going to say there's a difference between what you're wanting to take this image and it's got a different color profile than what you're wanting to paste it into. So I've got to change it, and I've got to remember where it is to change it. And edit. Okay, so down here, if you ever have to change that color profile, you don't assign the profile, you want to convert to profile. And so the source was a display P3. I need for the destination to be Adobe RGB. So, okay. So now I can copy it and paste it. Because those color profiles match, it's not going to have an issue with that. But again, if you didn't change that in Lightroom, it's going to say, hold up, the profile of the image doesn't correspond to the profile of the new document you set up. So now I'm going to move this image so that it's either at the very top or at the very bottom. To move, you can choose, go back over to the toolbar and choose this little arrow key. But guess what? The letter V, just think of the letter V being like an arrow so you can move things around. So you just hit V, not even command, just V. Well, I did hit V. Why is it doing that? Cancel.
Okay, so we're gonna hit, B.
V. V.
V.
As in victory.
So you don't have to have the 1-inch margin on the screen, because it's automatically understood, we've already resized.
Right, because it's 12 inches by 18 inches. Now, see how I'm accidentally, like if I'm moving this around, see how it's, if I don't get it real precise, I'm cutting off part of my image. I like to, under View, have the image snap to boundaries or snap to guides. So if it moves it and it's cutting off part of your image, if you choose under View and Window to snap, now it's gonna, you'll see that it, see how it kind of like,
It just stay there.
it snaps. It snaps, pops into place. I can still move it out of place, but it's giving these little pink boundaries telling me that I'm snapped in to the very top, or I'm snapped to the edge and I'm not cropping anything off. So that's under View and Snap. You can choose what you want it to snap to. You can snap grids, snap layers, document pounds, or snap them all. But yeah, so I'm gonna have it in there, and so it's gonna snap it into place. So now I need to do the same thing for my other image. So I'm gonna click off of my untitled document to my waterfall, Command A, Command C, Command V. And now I should be able to move my document, and it's snapping it to the bottom. So that's what it should look like. All right. So we can check our image size. I'm gonna check my image size. Yep, 12 inches by 18 inches. That's exactly what it should be. And now I've got layer 1 and layer 2. Before I go to print, I need to flatten this again, because now we have 2 layers. So I need to flatten this. So layer, flatten, and now it's background. You'll see both of them are on the background layer. They are as one. So now I need to save it, because untitled 1, whenever you guys are going to print, you're like, oh, is that my untitled 1, or is that your untitled 1, or is it his untitled 1? I don't know whose untitled 1 it is. We're always going to title it. So File, Save As, and I need to save it on my computer, not my cloud, and it's going to be red, yellow, and landscape TIFF. So I'm going to save it where my other files are saved. So it's TIFF, save, okay. So that's what you guys are going to do for your landscape and your red and yellow. And then on the other one, you're going to do your portrait. So the subtle duotone and the extreme duotone. All right?
We're gonna say,